Good evening to all. Now let's see the continuation of Unit 16. We have seen in the previous class that plant and animal hormones. Unit 16, plant and animal hormones. There we have studied about what are various plant hormones and how they are divided into two on the basis of growth, plant growth. So we have discussed about the 5 plant hormones. Now let's recall what are all that 5 plant hormones. The one is auxin, second one is cytokinin, third gibberellins, fourth abscisic acid, and fifth one ethylene, gaseous hormone. So these 5 hormones we have studied in a detailed way. Their physiological effect is very, very important. Go through that point by point. It is given in your book. Go through thoroughly. Anything will come under 4 mark question. Right. With that, we have completed plant hormones in the previous class. Now today we are going to see human endocrine system. So vertebrate animal, starting from fishes to human, you have a separate versatile communication system called endocrine system. You know, the nervous system and endocrine system, they communicate with each other and perform various roles in our body in a coordinated way. So, in between nervous system and endocrine system, you can find a bridge called hypothalamus. See, what is hypothalamus? The nervous system, you might have studied about the structure of human brain. That human brain, the lower part of the forebrain is called hypothalamus. That hypothalamus plays very important role for various autonomous activities of the body. Autonomous activities in the saying that that is the action which are not under the control of our will and wish. Temperature regulation, various organ function. So many activities in our body that we do not know how it is happened, how it is happening. So that is regulated by hypothalamus. See, at the base of the hypothalamus, you can find pituitary gland. That pituitary gland is one of the major endocrine gland that secrete hormone which coordinate other endocrine glands, that regulate other endocrine glands. So in our body, we have 2 coordinating system. One is nervous system and another one is endocrine system. Nervous system and endocrine system, both of them plays very important role for coordinating and regulating different activities of the body. So nervous system already you have studied in the previous chapter. Now let's see the human endocrine system. So the human endocrine system, already I told you in the previous class, introduction we have seen as it is in the book. We can see the introduction now. Go through the slide. Now look at the slide. Here you have 26th slide. See, this is the side. See, the human endocrine system, it is a versatile communication system to coordinate biological function. Right. Then it is found in different region of the body of animals and human being. It is also called a ductless gland. They do not possess duct. So it is ductless gland. Right. Its secretions are called chemical messengers or hormones. Hormones are produced in minute quantity. They act on specific organ or target organ. So these things we have discussed in our previous class. Is it clear? Right. See, the endocrine system deals with the study of endocrine gland. Endocrine gland. Now, what are endocrine glands? They are the glands which are located in our body, which secrete hormone. These endocrine glands do not possess duct, so they are called a ductless gland. Ductless gland. Their secretions are called hormones. So hormones are the chemical messengers. I told you in the previous class itself, chemical messengers. What are chemical messengers? Hormones are denoted as the chemical messengers. Regarding the properties of hormone, hormones are chemically composed of proteinaceous material, fatty materials, and amine products, and some phenolic compounds. So hormones, most of the hormones are composed of protein substances, and some are made up of lipids and other amine products. This is the chemical composition. Hormones are secreted in minute quantities. Minute quantities in the sense that milligram level it is secreted. It is secreted in milligram level. கொஞ்சம் தான் secrete ஆகும். நிறைய saliva secrete ஆகிற மாதிரி. Per day saliva secretion ranges into 1000 to 1500 ml. 1 liter to 1.5 liter. So saliva contains enzyme, tyalin, that begin the digestion of carbohydrate. So here the enzymes are secreted in enormous amount, whereas the hormones are secreted in milligram level. 1 milligram, 2 milligram, 5 milligram. This is the level in which hormones are secreted. So that is why hormones are oligotrophic in nature. Oligotrophic in the sense that they are secreted in less quantity. Minimal amount. Milligram level it is secreted. Then hormones have target specificity. Target specificity. I told you target specificity. What is called target specificity? When hormone secreted from one endocrine gland, it is mixed with the blood, then it is transported into the different part of the body, any particular organ of the body or any particular part of the body where it carry out its action. So it has to carry out its function in a specific place in the body. So it is called a target specificity. எங்க போய் வேலை செய்யணுமோ அங்கதான் வேலை செய்யும் அந்த ஹார்மோன். ஒரு இடத்துல செக்ரீட் ஆகுனா எல்லா இடத்துலயும் போய் அதே வேலை செஞ்சிடாது. So this is called target specificity. But hormones which are extracted from frog and human, say for example thyroxine hormone that is extracted from frog and human being have similar role. Their function is similar, but their action is oriented to specific site of the body, specific regions of the body. That is called target specificity. So these are all the properties of hormone. So this is given your introduction. Right. Now we have studied endocrine glands are ductless glands. They do not possess duct. Whereas some of the glands in our body are called exocrine gland. Exocrine. What is the meaning of exocrine? They have duct to carry their content or secretion. So exocrine glands. What are exocrine glands? They will ask in 2 mark question. Differentiate between endocrine gland and exocrine gland. If they ask this question in 2 mark question, you are supposed to possess duct. Endocrine gland do not possess duct. Exocrine gland, example see here, you love a salivary gland. So salivary gland is one of the best example for exocrine gland. Then in our stomach we will have a gastric gland. Gastric gland, it is also exocrine gland. Then intestinal gland. Intestinal gland. which secretes succus centricus that contain enzyme for digestion of food material. So here these glands all possess duct to carry the enzymes or secretion, in which where they are secreted, it is poured into some cavities. Saliva secreted to buccal cavity. Through duct it will come out. Salivary gland, you know, parotid gland, sublingual gland, submaxillary gland. These glands are connected to buccal cavity by means of duct of Rivinus. So many number of ducts are there. Each and every gland open into buccal cavity by means of duct. Wattens duct. So these ducts carry the content, carry their secretions. So exocrine gland possess, endocrine gland do not possess duct. Secrete hormone, exocrine gland secrete enzyme. Secreted in low quantity, enzymes are secreted in high quantity. Hormones have target specificity, transmitted from one part into another part by means of blood. Exocrine gland pour the secretion into nearer area, nearer cavity or space through ducts. So these are the differences between exocrine gland and endocrine gland. Right, now let's see in the slide, what about the hormone? Who discovered hormone? Who was regarded as the father of endocrinology? That we are going to discuss here. Next slide. See here, I told you the introduction, versatile communication system. In our body, we have many endocrine glands. They are ductless gland. Their secretions are called hormone. When hormones are produced in minute quantity, they have target specificity. Right. Here the term. What is endocrinology? See, endocrinology is the study of endocrine gland. Thomas Edison was regarded as the father of endocrinology. This is one more question. So in the introduction, see in your book, it is given Thomas Edison was regarded as the father of endocrinology. Then W.M. Bayliss and E.H. Starling introduced the term hormone in 1909. Who introduced the term hormone first? W.M. Bayliss and E.M. Starling introduced the term in 1909. One more question. Then another one more question. Which of the following is the first discovered hormone? This is also one more question. Secretin. See, what is called secretin? It is the hormone in which it is first discovered. This hormone is secreted from duodenum. No, duodenum is one part of the small intestine. And this small intestine, duodenum secrete this hormone. It stimulates the secretion of pancreatic juice. The pancreatic juice contains enzyme for digestion of food material in small intestine or duodenum. So here secretin is nothing but it is a hormone in which it is first discovered. Right, next slide. See the endocrine gland, I told you. What are all the various endocrine glands in our body? Just we study about the location of various endocrine glands in our body. Right. Now let us imagine this is the structure of human body. Now this is the head. In the head you can find the brain. At the base of the brain you can find major endocrine gland. That major endocrine glands are called pituitary gland. So imagine this is the structure of brain. At the base of the brain you can find pituitary gland. So this is one of the major endocrine system, pituitary, or it is also called hypophysis. Hypophysis. Pituitary gland is also called hypophysis. So it is located at the base of the midbrain in the place called hypothalamus. Small pea-like structures called pituitary gland. Just behind this, you can find another endocrine gland that is called the pineal gland. Pineal gland. So this pineal gland secrete melatonin hormone. One more endocrine gland located in the brain called the pineal gland. Next, now this is the pharynx. Pharynx followed by trachea. In the trachea, voice box, the beginning place contain a thyroid cartilage. The thyroid cartilage composed of an endocrine. Two endocrine glands are located here. This is thyroid gland. So, thyroid gland located in the neck region, larynx region, or in the voice box. At the corners of this thyroid gland, you can find another lobed endocrine glands called the parathyroid gland. Parathyroid gland. Now, the parathyroid gland is located in the neck region. Thyroid gland le ulla posterior part la podinjirukum indha corner la andha corner la podinjirukum. That is parathyroid gland. So, the major endocrine gland called pituitary gland, just behind the corpus callosum in the brain, you will have another endocrine gland called the pineal gland. Then in the neck, behind larynx, you can find the thyroid gland. Then thyroid gland possesses parathyroid gland, the posterior part. This is also separate endocrine gland. Right. Now, pancreas is also denoted as the endocrine gland. Pancreas is located here. See, this is the structure of stomach. Stomach is followed by duodenum. The duodenum, it receives pancreatic duct from pancreas. The pancreas is nothing but it is a leaf-like structure which secretes pancreatic juice. Its major role, secrete pancreatic juice for digestion of food in duodenum. So, the 10% or 10 to 20% of cells in pancreas are in endocrine nature. These endocrine part of pancreas is islets of Langerhans gland. Islets of Langerhans. Islets of Langerhans. What are called islets of Langerhans? You see, the endocrine part of pancreas. See, the endocrine part of pancreas is called islets of Langerhans. So, pancreas plays two important roles. One for secretion of enzyme and another for secretion of hormone. So, which is called a dual gland, pancreas. Pancreas is denoted as dual gland. It secretes hormone as well as enzyme. The hormone secreting part of the pancreas is called islets of Langerhans gland. The enzyme secreting part, that is separate, that is also present in the pancreas. Right. This is one of the endocrine glands which regulate sugar level in the body, glucose level in the body. Right. Now, in the abdominal region, you can find kidney. At the top of the kidney, you can find another endocrine gland. That endocrine glands are called adrenal gland. See, this is adrenal gland. The adrenal gland consists of two parts, adrenal cortex and adrenal medulla. Both are the separate endocrine glands. They also secrete hormones. So, thyroid gland, islets of Langerhans gland located in the pancreas, adrenal gland. Next endocrine gland, suppose in the case of male, the male gonad called testis. Testis is one of the endocrine gland. Testis is the major endocrine gland. Now, it has got a main role for production of sperm. It takes part in spermatogenesis. So, along with the spermatogenesis, it secretes a hormone. That hormone called male sex hormone testosterone. So male gonad is endocrine gland. In the case of female, you can find ovary. Here you can find ovary. The ovary is also a transient endocrine gland. Transient endocrine gland. It secretes the female sex hormones like estrogen, progesterone. So these hormones, relaxin, are secreted by ovary. So both the ovary and testes together called gonad. These gonads are transient endocrine gland. Transient endocrine gland. So besides this, you have other minor endocrine systems in our body. Say for example, in the kidney inside, in the nephron, you have juxtaglomerular apparatus. Inside the digestive system, secreted from pancreas, duodenum. Gastrin hormone secreted from intestinal tract, gastric areas of the digestive system. They are all minor endocrine systems. So the major endocrine system in our body and its location is clearly depicted in the picture here. So this you must be very thorough of it. What are all the various endocrine glands that we are going to study in this unit that I am given here. From pituitary gland onwards, you have to study in a detailed. So anything will come under 4-mark question or 7-mark question. Say for example, here pituitary gland is 7-mark question. Thyroid gland, 7-mark question or 4-mark question. Islets of Langerhans gland, adrenal gland, they are all very important. So anything will come under 5-mark question. So this chapter is very, very important. When you go for 11th standard also, the same thing you are going to study there also. In 11th standard also, the first year, you will have various endocrine system. Very, very important. This concept you should understand clearly. Right. So this is the structure and location of endocrine system. So in this first we are going to study about the structure of pituitary gland. In the NEET questions also, they will ask question from the hormone from these systems. So the basic endocrine system, you must first thorough of the basic endocrine system. When you complete this, the other endocrine system which are located in interior part of the body, digestive tract, kidney, that will come under NEET questions. The basic concept, you must be thorough of it. You should have a detailed account of it. Suppose if you omit this pituitary gland in the same, then you can't understand other endocrine systems. Each and every endocrine system are interrelated with each other. So this is very difficult for me. I cannot read this. In the same way, you cannot understand other endocrine systems. So each and every chapter are very, very important so that you can easily complete NEET examination. So when you face NEET examination in a clear-cut manner, in the same way, you go through all the endocrine, all the physiological systems in our body in a detailed way. Right. So I will tell you what are all the questions which are coming under which part. That I will tell you during the class, during the course of teaching, I will tell you, don't worry. First we will complete one by one, the endocrine system, I will complete it. Right. At the end of the session, we can discuss the questions also. Meanwhile, which questions are coming under in each part, I will tell you. Right. Now, let us take the pituitary gland or hypophysis. Before that, now look at the slide. The slide. The slide, we will complete some of the part. See here, the endocrine glands in human and other vertebrates are pituitary, thyroid, parathyroid, pancreas. See the pancreas I have given. The pancreas is a dual endocrine system. Here, islets of Langerhans gland in the pancreas are the endocrine part. Right. Adrenal gland, adrenal cortex and adrenal medulla. Two parts are located here. Gonads, I have mentioned, testes and ovary. Then thymus gland. One more endocrine gland. Thymus, see the thymus here, it is located diagram. So this is the trachea. The trachea divides into bronchi. The bronchi, see the junction between trachea and bronchi, you can find the thymus gland. So thymus gland is located just below the trachea. Where the trachea divides into bronchi, here you can find the thymus. The thymus plays very important role for immunological competence. Immunological competency in the sense that it take part in production of lymphocytes. That lymphocyte protect our body from diseases. It secretes antibody. It produces WBC. The WBC kill pathogen. It take part in cell-mediated immunity. That is the role of thymus gland. So thymus gland is also very, very important in respect of immunology parts. When you come for higher studies, I mean higher secondary, you will have a separate chapter called immunology. What is called immunology? It deals with the study of immune system. The resistant power exhibited in our body is called immune system. The major role of thymus is given there. Thymus is the primary lymphoid organ. It produces lymphocyte. That lymphocyte kill pathogen in our body so that we can free from diseases. We can fight against so many diseases. That is the role of thymus gland. Besides this, thymus also secrete hormone, thymulin, thymopoietin. So the hormone secreted from thymus gland take part in immunity. Right. So these are all we are going to discuss. Right. Now let's see the slide. Pituitary gland. Right. Next slide. See here, the pituitary gland structure is given. It is also called hypophysis, I told you. P-shaped compact mass of cells located at the base of the midbrain, attached to the hypothalamus by pituitary sac. It is composed of two lobes, anterior lobe and posterior lobe. Anterior lobe is called adenohypophysis, posterior lobe is called neurohypophysis. Now, in between these two lobes, you can find intermediate lobe that is not found in human being, but in other vertebrates, you can find that intermediate lobe that secrete different hormones. Now, it is a major endocrine gland in most vertebrates, and it regulate and control other endocrine glands. So, it is called master of endocrine system. See, this is the structure which is given in your book. And regarding the diagram also go through that. In 16.7 figure you will have a pituitary gland diagram. The first one is brain diagram, it is given. So look at the box in the given box which is given at the base of hypothalamus. Interior to that diagram you will have a pituitary gland. Is it clear? See the basal part in the box. In the middle you can find a stack that is called infundibulum. That stack posteriorly end with two lobed structure called anterior lobe and posterior lobe of pituitary. That structure we are going to study in a detailed way now. Regarding the diagram, how we have to draw the diagram? See, now let's see the diagram in a detailed way here. Then we will see the structure of adenohypophysis, neurohypophysis, and how hormones are secreted from each lobe, and its role also we will discuss later. Right, see the adenohypophysis here. It is composed of different types of cell. It secretes 6 hormones. Whereas neurohypophysis is the posterior lobe. It store 2 hormones. 2 hormones store பண்ணி வெளியில வரும். ஆனா adenohypophysisல 6 hormones secrete ஆகும். Regarding the structure of pituitary gland, right? Now let's see the structure. இந்த master அந்த இதுக்கு வந்துருங்க. See here we are going to study the structure of pituitary gland. Now imagine this is the structure of brain. The brain structure you will have forebrain, midbrain, hindbrain. This is the cerebral hemisphere. When you take the section of cerebral hemisphere, you can find corpus callosum. At the base of the corpus callosum, you can find thalamus. The base of the thalamus, see, this is hypothalamus region. Here you can find a stalk-like structure. That stalk-like structure is called pituitary gland. I mean infundibulum followed by pituitary gland. Now this is the structure of pituitary gland. See, located here. These pituitary gland consist of two lobes. When you take the section of this one, imagine this is the brain, cerebellum, medulla oblongata, pons varolii, then this is hypothalamus part. See here, this is hypothalamus, hypothalamus, and this one is infundibulum. Infundibulum. Infundibulum means it is a stalk-like structure which is used to connect pituitary gland with that of the hypothalamus. Right. This is pituitary, anterior lobe of pituitary and posterior lobe of pituitary. Now when we expand this structure, you can find the pituitary gland like this. See, this is the hypothalamus part, the brain part, nervous part. Then this part is the posterior lobe. Now imagine this is the posterior lobe. It is a continuation of the brain. Then in the anterior part, you can find the structure like this. Now this is the anterior lobe. So here imagine this is the anterior lobe. Now the anterior lobe is supplied with the network of blood capillary. Blood supply is present here. This is anterior lobe, and this is the region in which you can find a partition between posterior and anterior lobe. So the anterior lobe of pituitary is called adenohypophysis. Adenohypophysis, or it is also called anterior lobe of pituitary. The posterior lobe of pituitary is called neurohypophysis. Neurohypophysis. So very simple diagram. You can easily draw this diagram. The hypothalamus போட்டு ரெண்டு லோப் போட்டீங்கன்னா நடுவுல ஒரு ஸ்டாக் போட்டீங்கன்னா அவ்வளவுதான் pituitary gland. புக்ல இருக்கிற டயக்ராம் ரொம்ப கஷ்டம் நினைச்சுன்னா அதே பேர் போட்டுன்னு கஷ்டப்படாதீங்க. இப்படி ஒரு நாள் போடலாம் அந்த டயக்ராம். சயின்டிபிக் டயக்ராம் தான் இங்க முக்கியம். See, the hypothalamus and the stalk connecting pituitary gland with hypothalamus is called infundibulum. Infundibulum or infundibular stalk. S-T-A-L-K. Infundibular stalk. This is the structure of pituitary gland. So it is located at the base of the hypothalamus. A stalk-like structure called the infundibulum. Then two lobes, anterior lobe and posterior lobe. Anterior lobe called adenohypophysis, posterior lobe called neurohypophysis. The anterior lobe consists of many number of cells, different types of cells, chromophil cells. These cells secrete 6 hormones. See, the anterior lobe adenohypophysis secrete 6 hormones. Whereas the neurohypophysis, it stores 2 hormone stores. In your book, it is given secrete. It never secretes. It stores 2 hormones. 2 hormone stores. One is oxytocin and another one is vasopressin. Whereas the adenohypophysis secretes 6 hormones. Growth hormone, thyroid stimulating hormone, adrenocorticotropic hormone. Then you have gonadotropic hormones like follicle stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone. Then the last one, prolactin or lactogenic hormone. So these are the 6 hormones secreted from adenohypophysis. So we are going to study detailed about how the 6 hormones take part in various roles, how they regulate other endocrine system in our body. That we are going to discuss in a detailed way. So pituitary gland is very, very vital. This endocrine system control other endocrine system. So it is called the master of endocrine system, an orchestra of endocrine system. So these endocrine gland control other endocrine system. So it is denoted as master of an endocrine system. Why pituitary gland is called master of endocrine system or master gland? The master gland in the sense that the hormone secreted from pituitary gland reaches into another endocrine gland where it regulates and controls the secretion of hormone from other endocrine glands. For example, thyrotrophic hormone or thyroid stimulating hormone secreted from adenohypophysis reaches into thyroid gland. Thyroxine hormone control production is under the control of TSH. Now let us take what are all the hormone from adenohypophysis. See, one is the hormone called growth hormone, GH. GH. See the slide. In your book it is listed the hormone secreted from adenohypophysis. Next slide. Right. Growth hormone, thyroid stimulating hormone, TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, then adrenocorticotropic hormone, then gonadotropic hormone, FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, then luteinizing hormone, LH, then finally prolactin or lactogenic hormone. So these are the 6 hormones secreted from anterior lobe of pituitary. The growth hormone, also known as somatotropic hormone, thyroid stimulating hormone, thyrotrophic hormone. In the hormones oda name appadiye manasula padivu vechu. Very, very important. Mention the names of hormone secreted from adenohypophysis. 2 marks. எப்படி வேணாலும் கேட்கலாம் क्वेश्चन. Mention the names of hormones secreted from adenohypophysis அப்படின்னு ஒரு क्वेश्चन கேட்டானா இது growth hormone, thyroid stimulating hormone, adrenocorticotropic hormone. See, adrenal gland, cortico, adrenal gland la rendu, cortex, medulla. Adrenal cortex தூண்டும். Adrenal medullaவுக்கு இதுக்கு சம்பந்தம் கிடையாது. Adrenal cortex போய் அது தூண்டும். Adrenocorticotropic hormone, gonadotropic hormone, அதுல ரெண்டு, ஒன்னு follicle stimulating hormone, இன்னொன்னு luteinizing hormone. இந்த follicle stimulating hormone ஓவரியில இருக்கிற சில ஸ்ட்ரக்சர்ஸ் தூண்டி அதுல இருந்து ஈஸ்ட்ரோஜன் ஹார்மோனை செக்ரீட் பண்ணுவாங்க. எக் வளர்றதுக்கு தேவையான முக்கியமான ஹார்மோன். அதான் நம்ம டீடைலா பார்க்க போறோம் ஒன் பை ஒன்னா. ஒரு ஜஸ்ட் இன்ட்ரோடக்ஷன் உங்களுக்கு சொல்றேன். அடுத்த செக்ஷன்ல பிட்யூட்டரி கிளாண்ட் டீடைலா பார்ப்போம். அதுல ஒரு ஹார்மோன்ஸோட டீடைல்டு ரோல் என்ன அப்படின்றது, அதோட குறைஞ்சதுன்னா என்ன எஃபிஷியன்சி டிசீசஸ் வருதுன்றது நம்ம பார்க்கணும். Right. So these are the 6 hormones secreted from adenohypophysis, and posterior lobe stores 2 hormones. One is oxytocin. Okay, that we will discuss in another session. Right. Have a break for 10 minutes.